Welcome to the Know. I'm Ashley. It's Monday. It's RTX week Monday. Oh my god. So I hope we're going to see you this weekend. But we have a whole week full of news to get through until we get to Friday and the start of RTX here in Austin. So, the upcoming sci-fi game Cyberpunk 2077 is very highly anticipated, you could say. One member of its development team says the game isn't going to be afraid to get political. The newest issue of the official Xbox magazine has an interview with CD Projekt Red quest designer Patrick Mills, who was asked if the game is going to have political themes or social commentary, anything like that. Pretty common when you get especially futuristic stuff, sci-fi, usually. He responded to the question by saying Cyberpunk 2077 is a game about people with power at the top and people at the bottom with none. That power can come from money, hierarchies, technology, and violence. He went on to say the original Cyberpunk 2020 setting, like the setting of the Witcher stories, was a complex critique of the author's world, and we don't shy away from that in our games. On the contrary, I think it's one of the things that sets us apart. Cyberpunk is an inherently political genre, and it's an inherently political franchise. Mills also talked a little bit about why the game is in first-person perspective. That was a big concern for a lot of gamers coming out of E3, saying, why is it first-person? We want third-person. We want what we had with The Witcher. Just it's Cyberpunk. He said it allows for a more immersive experience, so that's why they're doing it. Definitely sounds like it's going to be interesting. Again, we don't have a release date, even a release window, anything like that, but we will keep you posted. I also find it interesting when we say political, or when they talk about being political in these updates. They're not saying, hey, we're saying this about whatever current administration and anything. It's, like I said, power dynamics, social commentary, how the world works, how the world should work. And Cyberpunk, he's right, it usually hasn't gone great, whatever decisions they made. A new update for Gran Turismo Sport is adding microtransactions to the game. Yay! Eurogamer reports that the version 1.23 update has added the ability to buy existing cars. The microtransactions aren't live in Europe yet, but in Japan, some cars are on sale for up to around 300 yen, which comes out to about $2.70 US. But Eurogamer notes that the more luxurious cars in the game still have to be earned through play, so there is that. The update also adds new cars and a new track, but it's the microtransactions that could spark controversy from gamers. And this comes as another big racing franchise, Forza, is taking loot boxes out of its games. Developer Turn 10 says that it will remove prize crates from Forza Motorsport 7 this winter. They also said that paid tokens, which were a part of previous Forza games, will not be coming to Forza Motorsport 7 or Forza Horizon 4. So we'll see how that plays out. It looks like a big-name talent is returning to Valve. Jay Pinkerton, who was a writer on Portal 2, Team Fortress 2, and Left 4 Dead, is apparently back with the company, according to a staff listing on Valve's page. Interestingly, though, it doesn't have him listed as a writer. Instead, he's listed under other experts. Pinkerton left the company in 2017, a year that saw a lot of other Valve talent like Eric Wolpaw and Chet Falashek also leave the company. But Reddit user Alverlord noticed that Pinkerton is now listed on Valve's staff page again. His bio's describing him as a comedy writer who fell into game writing completely accidentally 15 years ago and has been waiting for somebody to notice ever since. Valve rep did confirm to PC Gamer he's back with the company. That's all we know at this point. Since he's not listed as a writer, I guess that makes sense. What would he write? We got some info on how long the campaign in Kingdom Hearts 3 is gonna last. That's thanks to a review of the game's demo on the tech site geek.com, and the reviewer quoted a Square Enix representative who said that the game is around 40 to 50 hours if you stay on the critical path. Including the mini-games, players can expect 80 plus hours of content. The Square Enix rep also said that Sora is more agile in this game, that he can now wall run up shimmering vertical surfaces. As we already know, you're going to be able to equip 3 Keyblades, but you'll also be able to level them up to make them stronger. The game is releasing January 25th, 2019. I don't know about you guys, but I have started playing through all the Kingdom Hearts games again so I can kind of remember what the hell was going on. And just so we're clear, wow, Kingdom Hearts is very PS2. Super Smash Bros. Fans, get excited! Nintendo is bringing back the iconic GameCube controller, so you'll be able to play with a very familiar setup. The controller comes in Link, Mario, and Pikachu styles, and in a truly old school touch, it is wired just like in the old days, so Cool. It also has a removable C-stick so you can play with an old school nub or a full analog controller. No word on the release date for that yet, but it is, well, it seems pretty clearly timed around the release of Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, which is coming out December 7th. I don't want to miss that because that seems like the perfect 1-2 Christmas gift punch duo. So we'll see. But guess around that time. While we're talking about Nintendo, we do have some possible bad news for Animal Crossing fans. One of the heads of the most recent games in the franchise has left Nintendo. That's according to a tweet from the news editor of the Dutch site Nintendo, who said that Isao Moro, the co-director of Animal Crossing New Leaf for 3DS, has resigned from Nintendo. The tweet linked to a post on Moro's Facebook page, which has since been taken down. New Leaf was the last console game in the series. While there's been a lot of talk of an Animal Crossing game for the Switch, come on, Nintendo! Nothing's been announced. This could potentially be a bad sign or an indication maybe they're going in another direction, but as long as the old school directors are still there, I'm keeping my hope alive. Ever since its multiplayer update released last week, a lot of players have been giving No Man's Sky a second look, myself included. Over the weekend, the game peaked at more than 96,000 concurrent players on Steam, which has put it back in the platform's top 10 chart. Creator Sean Murray tweeted Friday, "Never thought we'd be here 2 years later. No Man's Sky is one of the most played games in the world this week on PC, PlayStation 4, and Xbox. Each day has been bigger than the last." Just goes to show, when you make the game good, could really pay off. I actually spent most of my weekend playing it, and I was playing it with my family. It was great. We were on the same system. We were coordinating. We have a family freighter. It's a business now. So thanks for that. Everyone knows that Magic the Gathering is an expensive hobby, but this card kind of takes the cake. An infamous Black Lotus card from the game's original release sold on eBay recently for more than $87,000. The card's been a big deal ever since the game released in the early 90s, and this one is from the Alpha set, which was the first printing. It's also in near perfect condition, which is really the big reason why it's worth so much. But man, that card is crazy. I remember when I was a little kid in the mall, there was a shop that had a bunch of tabletop card games. They had a Black Lotus and it was displayed behind the counter, and oh, I thought it was really pretty. I had no idea that one day it would be something like this though. I couldn't have afforded it regardless, but I would have asked my parents for it and they could have told me no. So you saved me from that, thanks. We got our very first Overwatch League champions, and it's the London Spitfire. They came out on top against the Philadelphia Fusion, who were clearly the crowd favorites, but the Spitfire beat them 3-0 on Saturday after a 3-1 win the previous day. The event took place in a sold-out Barclays Center in Brooklyn, and the winners took home a cool $1 million in prize money, so not shabby weekend. The whole thing was broadcast on ESPN, which just, again, shows you how far esports have come. London's captain, Jaehui Gesture Hong, tweeted after the win, "There were so many hard times during the season, but we are champions today, and I'm so happy. It was an amazing stage. Thank you for everyone who cheered for us until the end." Lucasfilm officially announced the first wave of casting for J.J. Abrams' Star Wars Episode 9, and there are a few surprises in there. There are a few definitely not surprises, but you know, there were some that you didn't expect. The obvious ones, your Daisy Ridleys, your Adam Drivers, Oscar Isaacs, your John Boyegas, but a few left field names like Carrie Fisher. That's right, Leia Organa will be back one more time. They have explained that Abrams got the okay from Fisher's family to take unused footage from The Force Awakens to give Leia a proper send-off. No CGI Carrie Fisher, they promise. Other names announced are Billy D. Williams reprising the role of Lando Calrissian and Mark Hamill, so prepare yourself for Force Ghost Luke, because he's coming. So interested to see what they're doing. Alright, you probably don't know the names J.D. Payne and Patrick McKay yet, but you're gonna. They are a pair of rising screenwriters who recently wrote a new Star Trek movie. Not the Tarantino one, but the one that's reportedly a time travel movie that puts Kirk on an adventure with his long dead dad, played by his Chris Hemsworth before he got super famous as Thor. Now Amazon has hired those two to write their Lord of the Rings series. They won't be the sole writers of the series. That'll reportedly take place around the events of the film, not like a redo of the film, but sort of expanded the universe stuff. It's not a straight up remake. There will be a writer's room, but Payne and McKay are the main creatives on the project at the moment. Deadline says Amazon's still in talks with Peter Jackson for some kind of role in this series, and they're trying to strike a deal to film in New Zealand using the wealth of set materials and props already stored down there. It seems like the project is moving forward pretty rapidly. I guess that's not a huge surprise considering the streaming service has already paid $250 million for the rights alone. You gotta start making some of that money back. All right, now this last news is for our resident Jaws superfan Eric Vespe, who you're welcome to challenge for the title, but I don't think you're gonna win it. While appearing on Gilbert Gottfried's amazing Colossal podcast, Jaws screenwriter Carl Gottlieb dropped some quite surprising news. Looks like Jaws might be heading to Broadway, or at least, at the very least, the story behind the making of the movie. Gottlieb was not only the screenwriter of the 1975 film, he also authored the very first making of book about the production. It was called The Jaws Log and has remained in print for more than 40 years. Gottlieb said he is currently in negotiations with a well-known music and lyricist to turn The Jaws Log into a real deal, big flashy Broadway musical. So that means if they close this deal, we could be seeing a young actor playing the 28-year-old Steven Spielberg grappling with one of the most nightmarish productions ever recorded in Hollywood history. And I'm expecting soliloquies about the always malfunctioning animatronic shark, maybe an angry duet between warring actors Richard Dreyfuss and Robert Shaw. Oh, the things that it could do. Broadway's a weird place, but it makes some awesome stuff and great experiences. All right, that about does it for this roundup. Let us know what you think of all this news in the comments down below. Once again, welcome to the week. To make sure you get all the crazy news from every corner of the internet for the rest of the week as well, make sure you like this video and subscribe to The Know. Also, make sure you come visit us at RTX Austin this weekend. We'll post up the times we're doing a panel for The Know, we're doing a panel for Glitch Please, we're gonna be doing a Nobody's Happy Hour this Friday afternoon, so I hope you're ready for it. It's gonna be a really good time. Again, we'll put up a community post and you'll be able to get all the details on the wheres and whens of everything, but I'm super excited. We'll see you guys this weekend. And we don't shy away from that in our games. On the contrary, is taking loot boxes out of its games. Developer Turn 10 says that it will remove prize case, will leave the company, but Reddit user Alverlord, okay.